Hello class, welcome to your MAP My Academic Plan overview. I will be showing you how to log into MAP, providing you an overview of the MAP system, and providing an introduction to how you will develop your own academic plan to meet your goal. The first thing you will do is log on to the IVC webpage, ivc.edu. Once you're there, you will log on to my site. I'm already logged in, so obviously that got populated automatically there. Within the left-hand column in your My Site, you will see a variety of options. I will have you click on Overview for MAP or My Academic Plan. The next screen you will see will say My Academic Plan, Map Your Future. You will note that on each of the pages within MAP there is introductory videos for those screens. After you're done reviewing my lecture, feel free to go back and check out the MAP introduction videos. They will provide further detailed information on the system and each page. You're going to click on Create a Plan. That will take you to the next page where you're identifying your educational goal. As you'll note, in the first week of this class, we talked about the different reasons students come to a community college or the different educational goals. One being potentially a certificate, one being an associate degree, another one being transfer to a university, and the last one being not really sure. Based on the responses we got on the discussion board to what the different goals were, I'm going to go ahead and do a walkthrough for transferring to a university. So we'd go ahead and click on Transfer to a University. Keep in mind these are the steps you will follow when you develop your educational plan, which is the next homework that is due the following week. Once you get to where would you like to transfer, there's a couple of options. California State University, University of California, both CSU and UC, private or out-of-state schools. You'll note here, for the purpose of my exercise, I'm going to go ahead and click on both CSU and UC. From what we've been discussing, as the description provides here, we know that the general ed pattern for both the Cal States and the UCs is going to be a GETC because it counts for those systems. If we were looking at only University of California, it would also be a GETC. If we were looking at only California State University, it would be the CSUGE pattern that we discussed. If you're primarily looking at a private or out-of-state school, we want to look up the requirements for that college. If your case is that you're doing a private or out-of-state school, go ahead and email me to let me know that as well. Both CSU and UC is what we're selecting. Select your college and major. Obviously your college is already pre-populated for you, with that being Irvine Valley College. The university system, for the sake of this example, we're going to go ahead and go with Cal State. Transfer institution, you see all the different Cal States are listed. I'm going to go ahead and select Cal State Fullerton, our most popular Cal State for obvious reasons. Potential major, you'll see the different majors that are listed at that college. For the purpose of this exercise, I'm going to select business administration and economics. Again, this is for doing the exercise. Don't feel that by selecting a major here that that's the major that you're obligated to transfer into. I want you to get the familiarity of the system at this point. Plan name, business administration and economics. Under plan name, the major will be automatically populated there, but you can make notes after that, or you can delete that whole name. For example, I'm going to call mine Business Administration and Economics Draft 2. Processing. And what now MAP is doing It just went ahead and connected the requirements for that specific major to my academic history at IVC. You will note as an overview of this page, again you will see the tutorial video, but then you'll also note a note section where I will at times write comments about your plan. Here's a brief comment for the template that I had here. And then selecting your courses. General education, pattern, both UC and CSU. So you see areas 1 through 7. That's the AGETSI pattern that we would be following for this component. Before we get into those specifics though, I also want to highlight the different sections within MAP. So general ed, major prep, electives, and prerequisites slash co-requisites. Non-applicable courses, and again a breakdown here at the bottom, your unit summary of transferable courses, non-transferable courses. We know that 60 units are needed. Right now in the plan there is no completed units. There will be in progress units and planned units and total units in plan when we're done with this exercise. The first step that I am going to ask you to complete when developing your educational plan is to develop your major prep. You'll note here in the yellow it states it is very important to read the articulation agreement courtesy of Project Assist as it provides detailed information not listed here. Important, you may not be required to take all of the classes below. They are listed here for your convenience. Again, carefully review the articulation agreement. So you'll see one of the things that MAP did was it also talks to Assist, which again we know is the resource that tells us what the major prep is for UC and Cal State majors. Through Assist, it automatically generated courses that are required for major prep or might be required for major prep. Just because classes are listed here does not mean that they're required. I know that sounds a little confusing, so let's click on articulation agreement to clarify a little bit here. As you see within Assist, there's the articulation agreement. Articulation agreement meaning what classes you need for that specific major at that college and what corresponding classes count for that major that we offer here at IVC. A couple things that I'll highlight. On the left you have 2 Cal State Fullerton. On the right you have IVC. What that means is required lower division classes. That means the following courses are required. Accounting 1A here on the right at IVC is equivalent to Cal State Fullerton's Accounting 201A. Accounting 1B here at IVC is equivalent to Cal State Fullerton's 201B, and so on. You'll note in certain sections, such as the math section for this major, you're given an option or options of what you can take in that section. It's important to thoroughly review that. Everybody's major prep will look a little different depending on what the institutions are looking at transferring to. You also want to make sure to pay close attention to this section here. A lot of times students unintentionally skip this section where there's specific information on GPA requirements and timeframes of when the major prep needs to be done. I prefer for you to first populate your major prep before your general ed because again there might be classes that overlap. With that said, let's go ahead and start populating your major prep. How do we do that? We simply click on the classes. You'll note that within MAP it provides you a description of each class, the number of units in the class, and any prerequisites. As I click there, Accounting 1A goes into the plan column. We know Accounting 1B from Assist was also required. CS1 was also required. Economics 1. You'll note here for Economics 1, it states the prerequisites that I need to take in order to be able to take Economics 1. So what MAP will do, it will also automatically populate the prerequisites into my plan. In this case, it will populate the math that I need in order to be able to take Econ 1. Econ 2. Go ahead and skip the math classes for a second. Management 12A, then Management 104. Again, for Management 104, there's a pop-up window here stating what prerequisites need to be covered for Management 104. Writing 1 is required. My record here does not state that I've taken a placement exam, so it not only says that writing 1 should be added to my plan, it also says the prerequisite courses. Gives me the option there of writing 201 or EXP 389. If you recall, in the first week's PowerPoints, there was a flowchart of the required math and English prerequisite classes. I'm going to go ahead and select writing 201 is a required prerequisite. Now it also lists what courses are needed to take writing 201. I'm going to go ahead and select writing 301 and then RD 370. It's stating that I'm starting in math and with English at the bottom because I don't have a placement exam on record. This might be similar to your situation or not, depending on your placement exam scores. So now, not only are my major prep courses populated there, but you'll see my prereqs and co-reqs are also populated there. The math courses that I described, as well as the reading and writing courses I described. Another portion, and why I waited before adding the math courses, this is a good example of why we say not to just automatically add everything that's listed under major prep. When I go back to articulation agreement, it listed for this major that I would either need math 11 or math 3A, not both. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and select math 3A and not math 11, even though it's here as an option. You want to be very careful with doing that. This is where students start to get confused when they're developing their plan. So let's say I select Math 3A. The system is telling me, hey, you want to take Math 3A, but there's a couple of prerequisite courses you need to take in order to do that. Math 2, Math 24, Math 253. Again, it's noting this because I don't have a placement exam with this record. This might be different because, of course, you as students are required to take placement exams. Math 3A and the appropriate prerequisite courses are now dropped into the plan. This concludes the major prep section of MAP. The next portion we will be doing will be on the general ed. Again, you will be responsible for doing both major prep and general ed for your assignment for this week.